So, while celebration of the Lunar New Year was just concluded, leaving the Year of Dragon behind and welcoming Year of the Snake, we still have an item in Dragon's Legacy to look at, which is a keyboard. This is the Akko MOD 007. Year of Dragon Edition, and this is now certainly my favorite keyboard that I have used. And those of you who watched my previous keyboard video featuring Akko's wooden MU02 keyboard already know that I really fell in love with this one at IFA, where I tried many of them, and not only from Akko's offerings, but nothing felt quite like this. While its design itself is a masterpiece of art, it was actually the switches that instantly got me, which by the way are magnetic. So in this video we are going to take a look at everything that makes this keyboard so special, starting off with its design, as here again Akko does the thing that it is best at, keyboard customization. So the special edition of MOD 007 has a pretty rugged build, and it probably feels like that because of its full metal housing and the weight, as this thing is pretty heavy, weighing around 2 kilograms, surely making it the heaviest keyboard I've ever owned. But I also really like this build because it does offer a greater stability, as there is not a chance for it to move or slide around during those heavy gaming sessions. And as you can see around the edges, it has a nice copper middle frame that adds a shiny golden accent to it, which matches the aluminum weight plate on the bottom that has Year of the Dragon Limited Edition etched into it to make it truly personal, and all these small golden team touches make it feel really special and premium. Now on the top, we have some amazing artwork with colorful dragon patterns all over the place. This artwork is made with a 3-tone anodization process, making it more scratch resistant and durable, done to preserve this special theme. And you can also feel the pattern when going over with a finger. And just look at these keycaps. Again, miniature fine art is everywhere, especially on the bigger keys, where a blue dragon is stretching across 3 keycaps, as well as on the spacebar. And sometimes, when you take a break from typing, it's just nice to look over the keys and appreciate the attention to detail that has been put into creating this amazing artwork. And as you may have noticed, not all keys are single colored, as there are some cyan ones too, but in the box you get some additional spare keycaps, in case you want to harmonize the color theme or just change things up a little bit. Just like the MU02, this is also a 75% keyboard, and it has a cherry key layout which feels very comfortable to type on. For me, it was quite easy to get used to, making it more favorable than the MU02 right away, and being a slim profile mechanical keyboard user, for a long time, I didn't face any stumbling or issues while typing. Also a nice bonus is the kind of matte textured keycap surface, which prevents finger smudge and has a nice touch to it, while also making the keys more grippy when gaming. And for the added aesthetics, of course there is also a south-facing RGB backlight, with many configurable animations and dynamic effects. While from outside it may look like we are mostly done talking about the design, there is even more to know about the insides, because it has layers and layers of parts stacked on top of each other to ensure that distinct magnetic typing experience while minimizing noise along the way. There is a layer of poron foam plate to improve the typing and sound experience, as well as a layer with silicon gasket mount for the switches, making the whole typing experience much softer. And the keyboard also comes with an additional plate in the box, so you can swap out the built-in FR4 plate to create a stiffer, higher pitched sound profile. This is how the keyboard sounds with stock configuration FR4 plate. Now to the hardware. Connectivity wise, this keyboard is pretty simple, as it is wired only with a USB-C connection, so no built-in battery or wireless radios. But as I mentioned, the switches themselves are this keyboard's biggest feature and technology. And bear with me now as we go through a quick crash course of magnetical switches, in case you have not heard about them before. So this keyboard is powered by Akko's cream yellow magnetic switches, and this is something totally different when compared to the usual mechanical ones, because as you can see here, these switches have no electric connections underneath. Therefore, swapping them for mechanical switches won't be possible with this Year of the Dragon Edition keyboard. But this really depends on the PCB, because according to Akko, some MOD 007 versions seem to be capable of supporting both magnetic and mechanical switches. So these switches are still linear, but the way the magnetic mechanism works is by detecting keystrokes through a Hall effect sensor, and the changes the sensor detects are in the magnetic field rather than physical contact. So inside the middle of the switch, there is a magnetic stem, and when a key is pressed or released, the sensor knows the exact distance in between, so when a specific actuation point is reached, a key press is registered, and the sensor can detect even the slightest changes by 0.1 mm, which is pretty crazy, as this is also the biggest advantage of the keyboard, the ability to have custom actuation points with the help of Akko's Cloud Driver software. These can be changed from 0.1 mm to 4 mm, which reflect the minimum and maximum physical travel of the key. And now for the gamers out there, Akko's software does bring some custom predefined actuation modes, where the comfort mode is your regular typing mode having 2 mm actuation point, meaning that a key press is registered when a key is pressed halfway down, but then the game mode changes this actuation point to 0.5 mm, so the key press will already get registered when the key is pressed only 1/4 of the way down. And switching between these modes do actually make a noticeable difference when typing, an even bigger one when gaming, as with 8000 Hz polling rate in the roar mode, you will get the most instant trigger response possible, and with the custom mode, you can even set a different actuation point for each key individually. And then there is the rapid trigger function, which again is useful for gaming, where the actuation and the activation point get dynamically adjusted depending on the key press force. So you don't need to release the key all the way up to register the key press, making the input much more faster with rapid keystrokes. And another exclusive magnetic feature is dynamic keystroke, which enables crazy level of customization. You can call different key actions depending on the force of the key press, like a light press can make your character walk, while a deeper press can make them run. And the way you release the key can also trigger additional actions. For example, releasing the key quickly might stop the character, while releasing it slowly could make them crouch. So there are plenty of cool features and possibilities with magnetic switches, enabled with the help of software customization, and many of them will prove useful in FPS and RPG games. And the more you will play around in the software, the more you will be able to achieve. In the Akko MU02 review, I did mention that Akko's software is certainly not the easiest one to use, which is still true, because this keyboard goes full on geek mode, when you have so many options that alone will take time to learn, test and adjust. So I would love to see friendlier user interface that does not make me feel like a keyboard engineer. That said, I'm really happy with this keyboard, and once I connected it, I have not used anything else ever since. This keyboard has been a joy to write on, work on, and especially game on. It is really meant for power users who want to fine-tune their game to the finest detail, but normal users alike will appreciate the design and magnetic switch advantages this keyboard has to offer out of the box. With a price of around $200, it is surely on the more expensive side, but this amount may be well worth it for an exquisite keyboard experience. And since it is a limited edition item, a thing to note is the availability, because in Akko's international website it shows to be out of stock, while in Europe it is still available, so grab one if you can, as it is hard to say how long they will keep selling this exact model. But regardless, Akko has plenty of customizable Mod 007 versions that also use the same Hall effect magnetic switches, with cheaper versions available as well, so if you are curious and want to get one yourself, you can find a link in the description below and explore the available offers. And since it is Year of Snake now, I'm curious to see if Akko will come up with something this year as well. So I hope you liked this video, and hopefully you also learned some useful technical things about magnetic switches. So don't forget to subscribe and check out my channel to see more interesting tech and devices, and see you in the next video.